If you don't have previous experience with SQL or computer lingo in general, figuring out custom rule parameters can be daunting at first. But don't worry, the logic is actually pretty straightforward and easy to understand. To jumpstart that understanding, let's deep dive into the fascinating sea of velocity rules. So, what do velocity rules do? They help you monitor and catch suspicious user behavior, strange patterns, or sudden changes in typical user habits. You can use them to compare an aggregate value or data field of values or another aggregate within a certain time frame, or even several repeating time frames. What's an aggregate, you may ask? It's simply a value reached by completing mathematical functions with existing data. Averages, sums, mins, and maxes are all common aggregates. Let's look at an actual example and create a velocity rule. We can all agree that sudden, unexpected spikes in user activity can be suspicious, right? If a user has closed over 10 transactions in the last 30 minutes, something fishy might be going on, so it's better to filter out and flag these occurrences. So, on we go. When creating a velocity rule, you have to select a value for it first. In our case, this value will be the number of transactions. Let's use the where section to filter which transactions we want the rule to consider when calculating aggregates. In this case, we only want to count transactions from the same user. So let's add a where user ID is equal to current value filter. The count current transaction toggle sets whether SEON should include the values of the current transaction in the aggregates it calculates. The timeframe field is where you can set a time frame, which in our example is going to be 30 minutes. Next, use the drop-down in the operator column to select how you would like to compare the values on either side of the rule. For this example, we're choosing is greater or equal to. In the compare column, you can choose the value you'd like the rule to compare the aggregate to. This can be a fixed value, the current transaction, or a second time frame if you want the rule to calculate the same aggregate for a different time frame and then compare the results. Here, we'll select fixed value, which in this case is going to be 10. That's it, we've just created a velocity rule. This was a simple example, but velocity rules can do much more, and there are some advanced options you can use. By adding a regular aggregate, you can calculate aggregates from regularly repeating time intervals, like hours, days, or months, and then use these in rules. Thank you for watching. Remember, we cover many different elements of SEON in this series, so take a look around at our other videos. And if you'd like to read up on any of the things we discussed, feel free to head over to docs.seon.io.